Hey, this is Anthony with 10 Minute Moto. I'm going to go over how to put your graphics on your bike. A few things that really help, if you can get them, are the squeegees. These are used for window tinting, but they work great for installing graphics and pushing out the air bubbles. You want some isopropyl alcohol to clean the plastics. I use a heat gun and a hair dryer where applicable. I'm going to start by taking some of the stock stickers off and prepping the plastic for installing the graphics kit. I typically like to use a hair dryer in lieu of the heat gun. That heat gun can get real quick. The appropriate time to take off the seat. 8mm. So I know a lot of people have different methods on how to put on their graphics. I like to use the dry method, and I'll be showing you that. I know a lot of people use Windex to, dishwashing soap, small few drops in a bottle of water and move them around and squeegee out the water. I prefer the dry method on this, and I'll show you how I do it. I'm gonna heat it up so it's more malleable. Then I typically just tear off, even less than a third, really, just to get it started once it's aligned. And sometimes even instead of tearing, I'll just give it a fold. On the back side there. Beauty's a joy forever. Yeah, don't get cocky until those radiator shrouds come up. More better. Nice thing is, until you give it the heat, you can always reboot. Okay, to access the side panels on this bike, it looks like you have to take off this rear fender, and to remove the fender, you have two 6mm bolts on the back and two T30 bolts underneath here. And then you have two T30 up above here to be able to pop this fender off and pull off this side panel for applying the graphics onto it. It looks like that should be a T45 if I can remember right. Yeah, that is in fact a T45 on that one. Compression fit panel here. So I took out this T45 here, compression fit air filter cover there, an 8mm here. So the little trick on that was, because you see how much fun I was having with it, is I had everything unbolted on that, and I kind of gave it a push down here. And I'm glad I didn't force this, because there's a little bolt in there. So yeah, broke enough crap in my younger years. I'm not immune to it at this point, but trying my best. What's that special little thing? Probably a different size of something. Yeah, of course. Well, as far as I can tell, it looks like a T20. pretty happy I didn't try to force that off. Well, I finally figured out how to get this tricky radiator shroud off. 2 8mm on the front here. You got 2 6 into the plastic, and then a T30 for this piece that the seat slides onto. I talked to a friend of mine. He kind of led me in the right direction as well. Kind of pull out on this to clear the radiator and give it a pop back. You can see this piece here slides onto this, putting it on, taking it off. So for me, that's a lot better, or maybe not a lot better, but a little more convenient than taking off the tank. So just thought I would share that because some of this plastic's a little tricky. That's how you get the radiator shrouds off. Here's an example of how I started the process. I cleaned this down with the alcohol, warmed up the plastic with the hairdryer. I placed this over the panel. I heated it up. I peeled back a section of the backing. Got it lined up these holes, lined this up, made sure this was all looking like it was going to lay really close to where I wanted. The heat can manipulate it a little bit. I tacked it down, no air bubbles. Now I'm going to pull back section by section, use the heat as I go, get it placed, pull back a little more, and it'll just fall right into place. Again, just to recap, I put some isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle, wipe down the plastics really good. If you get your hands on some of these window tinting squeegees, that's great. I use my finger for 90% of it. You could probably use a credit card in a pinch. Use heat where needed to get stubborn areas to lay down, and for alignment, the graphics will stretch a bit if needed. And X-Acto knife, a little trimming where necessary. And if you're patient, it goes pretty good. Remember, tacking it down, you can always pull it back off and use your heat for your final stage of getting this stuff to the glue to stick really good. I have had cases where I can still pull it back a little bit and get things aligned or fixed and reheat up and get the stick. It's just, I don't know how many times that can be successful for. So with those few things and taking your time, I like this method of putting the graphics on, and I've had good results. So there you are. Well, the graphic install is complete. Take your time. Just use the little basics that I laid out for you, and you should get the same results. I did this over the span of just a few evenings, a few hours each evening. The biggest trick was taking off the plastics, actually, figuring out how they were clipped on, and didn't want to break anything, but I'm happy with the results. Thank you, Fusion Graphics. I'll have videos coming up for putting foot pegs on the bike, chain and sprockets, different bars, exhaust. But this weekend, planning on doing some riding. Take care, till next time.